I'm out of Stillwell, and Erica, Ilves, and I are the co-founders of the Human Project. The Human Project is architecting a global public discourse on the future of our species. It's working to bring about an understanding of all of the really big challenges that confront us as a species, and putting them all in one place so that we can take a step back and take a look at ourselves as a whole. The expected impact is no doubt global. What you need to understand about us is that we have a 40-year vision, because we don't believe that this is going to happen overnight, and we don't believe that it's going to be easy. One of the main things that we saw when we went out and started studying the global agenda space was that every expert said their issue was the most important one. And after a few years of looking at that, we thought to ourselves, well, how do they know? How can we really organize and prioritize the challenges that confront us all without an overarching vision of who we want to become and where we want to go next? So we think the next step is really to start asking the really big questions that confront us. Who do we want to become as a species? Where do we want to go? What do we want to accomplish? So the first step is we're putting forth our framework and our content in an iPad app. Well, first in an app, and then to all platforms. We're started on Kickstarter. We love crowdfunding. We love social media. We love Kickstarter. And as we set forth this framework, then we need to really begin to discuss whether this is the right one. So we don't imagine that we have all the answers, but we do think that you need a disciplined approach to studying and organizing these issues, and then a coherent debate about whether this is the right content, the right vision, the right framework before moving into action. And I got to tell you, I've met a lot of sort of like, young upstart people, and first and foremost, what they want to understand is, well, when will you get to the action phase? It might take a while, but let's be clear. I don't know if you've ever been in a company where there wasn't a clear vision, and there wasn't insight, and there wasn't a strategy, and nobody really knew what they were doing, and everybody said their issue was the most important one. That is a lack of understanding, right? That's a lack of clarity and a lack of understanding. So before coherent action can begin, we need to have a really clear insight about what it is actually that we're doing. So the long-term vision is really to have an online platform where experts and people of all walks of life can contribute to the problem solving. And we're using this app and this web content to begin to attract the minds that we've been following for years that we think need to come to the table to help us get it done. I think the fundamental way that the Human Project is different is that it really is an integrative approach. It's really a synthesis. We've tracked all the issues that affect the species as a whole, and the thing that we found was that there were various global fora or groups of scientists or politicians that were on about certain issues but not others. And it was sort of a shock for us to find that there was no single master list of the challenges that confront the species as a whole. So from a species-wide perspective, we began to integrate all the disparate, unconnected efforts and bring them together in a coherent whole. That's really what's critically different about this project. And then from that perspective, advancing the notion that we cannot contextualize or prioritize these issues unless we can agree upon a clear vision of who we want to become. So that's what makes this very different from previous efforts. Never give up. Find something that's meaningful for you, something that you're willing to devote your life to. and work hard to make it happen, because it's not going to do itself. There's going to be a lot of naysayers, there's going to be a lot of people that tell you that you can't do it. Sometimes it'll bring you down, but just keep going. And I think a really important thing to figure out what that thing is in your life, that thing that's worth doing, is to recognize that you will die someday. You know, one day you will no longer be here. And what would make your life worth living? Right. So if you want to get involved, there's a number of ways that you can help us out. You can go to our Kickstarter campaign. Donations begin at $10. We give you great stuff in return. We also have a Facebook group of 130 volunteers from all over the world. Emiratis, Jordanians, Lebanese, French, Italian, Americans, Canadians, we got it all. So you can throw us a bone and help join us back there. You can also follow us on Twitter, _IamHuman, and hashtag The Human Project. And you can also go to our website, which will be the landing page, and host the app and the content when it comes out, which is thehumanprojectapp.com.